Absolutely. All right. Feel free to write in the chat and let us know where you're tuning in from. It's always great to know where everybody's located. We're excited for tonight. Lots of people coming in.
Yes. Packed house. This is awesome.
Riverside, California.
Fantastic.
All right, Lee. All right.
Okay.
Kaiko, California.
Excellent. So, all right, we're going to get started here. And I know that we've got a lot of folks that, have joined us. So I'm really glad that everybody could. And I'm going to, first off, give me just one moment. I'm just going to do one more thing here.
Thanks for your patience. You guys are in for an awesome treat tonight.
Yes, and for those people who are guests, we want to welcome you as well. We're going to share with you a little bit more information about a membership here that I truly feel can be extremely beneficial to you. And one particular aspect of that membership that I think would be that everybody, well, we got a lot of people got to let in here, everybody. So just one second here. Okay, there we go. And so this is going to be one aspect of the membership, and we're going to get started right now. Let me just get more people coming in. So let me just click those. All right, here we go. All right. So first off, everybody, I want to say thanks everybody for joining us. This has been, just an amazing ride so far. And for what Danielle and myself, we got introduced to this membership 2 years ago this month, as a matter of fact. Did you want to say anything about our story at all in terms of how that worked, and then we'll get right into the membership? Or
Sure, we didn't plan that, but yeah, I mean, I'll just say
a synopsis of it.
that we're forever grateful to Kathy, who made a call to us, right? She stepped out of her comfort zone, and she did that because she knew in her heart she had something that she had to share. She couldn't keep it to herself. And little did Kathy know that Mark and I had already started on our gold and silver journey earlier in that year. And so when we sat down and watched the presentation of this amazing membership and all of the amazing benefits, we just knew immediately that it was something of value, because everything that was lacking from our first experience in buying gold and silver, this membership meets. I always say it's like a concierge approach to buying gold and silver. Your hand is held, you are educated, knowledge is power. I'm a former teacher. When you understand what you're doing and you understand why you're doing it, not only are you confident in moving forward, but you also are no longer vulnerable, because you cannot be taken advantage of. Power is in your hands. And we just love everything about the membership. God's money, gold and silver, it is here. It was always meant for us. It's time for us to take it back. So that is kind of what everybody comes in to 7K for. But then as you start digging into your membership, you see, we always say it's like the more you peel back the layers, the better it gets. And one of those amazing layers and member benefits is why you're all on here tonight to learn more about. So I'll hand it back to you, Mark.
Yeah, and I'm just going to recap some of the benefits. So for some of those folks who might be guests who are now considering getting a membership, I'm going to recap some of the member benefits. I'm not going to get into a lot of detail, but we are going to hear a lot more detail about our 7K health insurance, which is available in the US. And we're going to hear from Scott Fargelis here shortly, who is just an outstanding gentleman. I have a lot of respect for this gentleman. I'll get into that in 1 second. I'll come back to him. But let me just reiterate the benefits, everybody. With your 7K membership has its privileges. You're going to get, first off, your Sound Money wallet. This is your digital wallet, 100% backed by the physical gold and silver. So many benefits with this, including the ability to be able to transfer gold and silver amongst members. We have our own bartering system here, everybody, which is a safeguard for all of us and a way to be able to get gold and silver 24/7, free storage, have it sent to you, whatever you like. A lot of benefits in that wallet. Secondly, we have our Stack and Sell, which is our collector coin registry, and where we can obviously sell our collector coins. A great platform, helps us determine the value. Our 7K Advantage discount program. This program here, if you utilize this, it's going to give you tremendous savings on not only travel, but in the US, over 800,000 ways to save. This will cover the cost of your membership if you utilize it, this on its own. We have our autosaver, which is our low mintage collectibles that can be sent to you each month automatically for disciplined savings. Buyer's certification training, again, the education platform teaching you everything you need to know about gold and silver bullion, literally the 5 reasons why to buy it, helping you to break down the category or categories you fall into, and then even telling you which specific metals to buy. This is powerful. The collector certification training for collectibles education. I'll tell you, we've got a tremendous return on our collectibles. And the main reason why is that we know what to look for, and the education is so powerful here. Our 7K health insurance, which we're about to hear more about, I'm not going to say anything there. Access to gold-backed IRAs for your retirement to really kind of secure the money for your retirement. We've got first access to rare collectibles, as well as access to a Zoom account. Anybody who's on a Zoom like this right now, I will tell you, we get a $140 per month plan for only $13 per month. That's a $1,500 a year savings with a 7K membership. And also we get residual income and tax advantages if you decide that you want to share the membership with others. And there's so much more. But I will tell you, one of the biggest advantages or the biggest benefits that I would say in this particular membership is the 7K health insurance. And I'm going to basically stop my share at this point and just basically talk to everybody, because there's nothing more than hearing it directly from the person who's responsible for bringing this together and putting this whole thing together, which has been tremendously beneficial for so many. Health insurance is just not affordable for a lot of people. And, I got to tell you personally, we've been paying, prior to this, we had been paying $500 a month for a plan from the government, which had a $7,000 deductible. And I haven't been to a doctor in like 10 years. So I'm just paying money. I'm giving them money.
500 each.
Yeah, $500 each per month, which is absolutely ridiculous. But I got to tell you, now that we have access to this, a benefit for 7K members, and I have to tell you, if you're considering this, or if you know of anybody in the need for health insurance, then you definitely want to listen to this gentleman. I'm going to get myself out of the way. He is the CEO of 7K Health, and that is Mr. Scott Fargelis. Thank you so much for joining us this evening, sir, and I'm going to hand it over to you.
Mark and Danielle, thank you so much. It is great to see your handsome and beautiful faces collectively building your business as a team, as a household unit. I think that's one of the most exciting things about this all is it brings families together. I realize that every day we wake up and we have choices, and some people don't know any better and they just make the choice to have said I do. So I'm talking to married people just for a second. You say I do, and you walk out the door every day and one turns left and one turns right. And then you come home at the end of the day, right? And we give leftovers to each other, to our kids, to our families, the ones that we really, want to be with in the first place. And this is allowing people to come back together and keep their family as a priority. How many of you agree that that's one of the coolest benefits of everything? I mean, you can talk about all the advantage programs all day long, but the biggest advantage that everybody has here is the ability to bring your family together as a priority and build something for the future. I see your heart there, Kathy. Thank you. So that aside, thank you, Mark and Danielle, for just being incredible examples to everybody else on what a healthy family household looks like. So that being said, we're going to talk about 7K health because it's such an exciting topic. And the reason it's so exciting is because I want you to all think about this for a second. You are here for a number of reasons. However, can we all agree that one of the reasons that you're here is because you want to put yourself, your family, your loved ones, the people that you care about the most, and your household in the best position financially as possible, because there's so much uncertainty about the future well-being of our country. When we trust other sources, we get into trouble. When you take matters into your own hands, you're a lot better off. And so I want to make sure that everybody understands that you are building or you have a tool that you've never had before to build your financial security and your financial stability. And the last thing in the world we want to do is put that at risk. Do you want to put your financial well-being at risk? No, you don't, and neither do I. And so one of the fastest ways to be at risk is to not have health insurance. The number one form of bankruptcy, the reason why more people file bankruptcy than any other reason or cause is because of sudden, unexpected, and unfortunate medical expenses that pop up. And they can happen at any time. It's not based on age. It's not based on demographics or where you live or just by chance. It happens. If we're all candid with each other, none of us gets out of here alive. And I know it sounds morbid. It's just it's a relevant point. And the older we get, the closer we are to having natural things start to pop up and occur. And it doesn't happen just because of your age. So I can tell you story after story about people that thought, oh, I've got plenty of money, I can just afford this, or I can afford that, or I'm in a good position. And there's three categories of people that I want to draw to your attention related to health insurance. And if you're taking notes, you can write this down. The three buckets are this dominantly. Number one, people have nothing. They don't have any health insurance at all. They're walking around playing the greatest risk of their lives. The second group of people are those that are underinsured. So we lull ourselves to sleep thinking that, oh, well, we have something and something's better than nothing. And you're not prepared for that big thing that could pop up and just totally wipe you out. The third group of people are those that are paying way too much money for their health insurance and they don't know any better. And it's yep, I see a couple hands going up. And that happens to a lot of people and they don't know any better either. So that's the total buckets of people that exist. I just named all three categories. So right now, take a moment and ask yourself, which one of those am I? So are you without insurance right now? And you're like, yikes. Or are you underinsured and you're like, well, I would get more if I could afford it. Or are you in a position to where you're just paying way too much, whether you want to admit you can afford it or not, you are, and you know you're paying too much for it, and you just don't know what to do about it. So we're going to talk about all three of those topics right now, and you can count your blessings right now, because my opinion is that Jason Arfman is a brilliant person. He's a brilliant man. He's a brilliant CEO. He's creative. He knows how to enjoy life. He's got his priorities straight because he's got faith at the top of his totem pole. He's got his family that's tucked in right there, whether it's Holly or, his four amazing daughters. And he takes life, seriously. He knows how to have a great time. And I love the fact that he looked at this and said, wow, we are a company about numismatic coins. And we're going to give people the best chance they have to put themselves in a great financial situation through numismatic coins. And outside of that, he's going, yeah, this makes a lot of sense. Let's bring health insurance to the table because we don't want to put people at risk. And if you notice right now, all of the 7K Advantage programs, they're fantastic benefits, absolutely fantastic benefits. You know which on that wheel that Mark just talked about? Do you know that other than the coins, do you know which one of those 7K Advantage programs has points associated to it? Someone say it, someone blurt it out. What is it? Which 7K Advantage programs has points associated to it?
7K Health.
That's right, 7K Health. And that is something, and why is that relevant? It's because there is a formal survey that was conducted, and the question went like this. When people put their budget together, what are people most likely to allocate in the order of priorities, where they spend their money and what they will not stop spending their money on? And here's the answer to that survey. So this isn't our opinion, this is the fact. Number one is whatever your living situation looks like. So whether you have a rent or a lease or a mortgage, it's the roof over your head. It's what you call home. That's your number one thing that you will pay for because that represents your safety. That's your security. That's where you go. That's where your things are. Number two is transportation. I guess people decided that Fred Flintstoning it is not a current modern way to travel. And so we prefer not to walk or pedal ourselves. We'd like to get in a vehicle and move a little bit more effectively and efficiently. And so whatever that looks like for you, it's just transportation. Number three is your cell phone, your technology, your ability to interact and connect with the rest of the world, whether that's through social media or texting or emailing people or picking up the phone and making a phone call. Everybody's got one of these. Sorry, my background's blurred out. Everyone's got one of those smartphones. And I did it today. I was on my way. I'm not at home right now. I'm at a foreign location and I was on my way here so I could be on time to this Zoom, and I wanted to be here early. And wouldn't you know it, I got about 10 minutes down the road Didn't give myself a whole lot of margin to start with. And all of a sudden I had a panic attack, like a full-on panic attack. I could feel my armpits getting a little hot. My palms got sweaty. I could feel my face getting a little flushed, like, what's wrong? What's wrong? And I start doing the pat down, pockets, back pockets. I'm in my vehicle, right? You can imagine I look funny if a car was sitting next to me. I'm like touching myself everywhere. And I'm like, no, don't tell me. I forgot my phone at the house. Slammed on the brakes, did a U-turn, didn't wait till I got to an intersection or I just checked my mirrors and no one was there. And I just turned around right in the middle of the road. And I say that being transparent because that's what we do. That's how important these devices are. You know, what's the credit card company that says, don't leave home without it? Remember that little slogan? I'll tell you what, that credit card means nothing compared to your phone and will do anything. My point is that's number 3 on the list. Well, if that's how important number 3 is, imagine that number 4 comes in as a very close runner-up and almost is right there with number 3, and that's health insurance. Listen, nobody wakes up every day and says, I'm going to jump out of bed today and I'm going to go about my day and I'm going to do everything completely worry-free because why? I have no health insurance. Yay, hip, hip, hooray. Let's hear it for no health insurance. And no, that's not what we do. We say, if we're being honest, it's anything from embarrassing to disappointing to shameful to frustrating, and anger comes up because that's not where we want to be. It's a total game of risk if you're in that category. And please, please, please hear this from the bottom of my heart. It can happen to anyone that life is sometimes unpredictable and we can end up in tough times financially where you just have to make your best foot forward and decide what can I get by not doing today. And you don't want to be in this category. Please hear this. We all need to make health insurance a priority. It's how you sleep at night. It's how you wake up with confidence and go through your day. If you need to go to the doctor or to the hospital or to the ER, having health insurance will keep you from losing everything you have. And that's a true statement. So that's here. And so we're going to spend a few moments talking about that. And, I've been a number of things in my life. First of all, my faith is important to me. My family is important to me. How I feel about making money is important to me. It's integrity, it's morals, it's principles, it's culture, it's DNA. And I love this home-based business space with all my heart. I just do. It's the reason why, first and foremost, our family is free. So I can tell you that you're doing the right thing. You're doing the right thing. My wife and I have built a team of hundreds of thousands of people in this industry, in this space. And so you are right where you need to be. You're doing the right thing. You're following these amazing leaders. And I know there's lots of you that I see lots of faces on here that are epic, dynamic leaders throughout 7K Metals. And, Mark and Danielle, again, I just applaud you for being the right kind of leaders that people can respect and look up to, and the way you live your life and the priorities that you're set. And I can tell you, looking myself in the mirror, answering to my maker and answering to anybody that I'm accountable to, that this is the best health insurance on the market today. It is the best health insurance. Rest assured that Jason doesn't do anything second best or second fiddle or just kind of sort of. It's here for a reason. It's because it's the best thing that there is to offer people. So if I were to give my 2 cents worth about this topic, I'd say that as fast as you're here, because the whole business model makes sense, you should say, what do I need to do to protect my assets in this company? And you should be looking at what plan is best for you in the health insurance space. Think about it. If you have 10 people in your 7K team and they're perfectly balanced and you're getting paid out on all 10 of those people, that's great. And if you have 100 people and the same thing is happening, that's great. If you have 10,000 people and the same thing is happening, that's great. What's greater than that is super great. And how do you get super great? You take the same amount of people, whether it was the 10 example or the 100 example or the 1,000 example or the 10,000 example, and you simply add health insurance into your team with the same people that are already there. Why? Because it's a benefit. And so I'm going to make up a simple, I'll call it an STE, not an STD, an STE. So the STE stands for simple theoretical examples. So the STE, simple theoretical example, is this. You've got an auto saver in your team of, 10 people, and you've got auto savers or 100, or you have auto savers of 1,000. And let's say the average auto saver is 20 per person, 20 points per person. Just say it. Let's just go with the numbers. You may say that's low, or you might say that's high. And all of a sudden you add health insurance to this equation. Did you know that you could have easy 20 points through 7K Health by adding that to your team of already existing people? Did you know you could easily have 30 points? How do you get from 20 to 30? Because people take supplemental programs. They might add dental, they might add vision, they might add critical illness, they might add accident, they might add pet benefits as well. That's right, you heard me say pet benefits, and there's points for that too. So you know anybody with a dog that doesn't want to be on the hook for a $4,000 bill, just oopsie daisy accidental? By the way, that happens all the time. Do you know anybody with a cat? Do anybody know anybody with a snake, an iguana, a llama, a horse, a lamb? You know anybody with pets, period? That program is for them, and it's got points. So when you add all these together, you could be in the high 30s. You could be at 40 points for health insurance. Hello, auto saver? Yeah, that's an auto saver. If it were me, I'd be teaching my entire team why it makes more sense than not to have people not on one of those BUCAs out there. The BUCA is an acronym for Blue Cross, United, Cigna, or Aetna. Not beating them up, and I won't say anything bad about them. I'm just going to simply say that if you go do your research and you do your homework, you will quickly realize, so if you're taking notes again, what's great about 7K Health? Write this down. Lower premiums. Go ahead, write them down. Lower premiums. Well, you're going, are you sure? How much lower? I'm talking about if you did an apples to apple comparison and you do your side by side with whatever you got or don't have compared to 7K Health, you're going to realize that conservatively, you're probably going to save 30%. Aggressively, inside of 7K in its memberships, I've seen personally over a 70% savings for 7K members. I've seen personally with my eyeballs more than a 70% savings for people. So where's the average of that? It's not uncommon to be at a 40 or 50% lower premium. Write this down, higher value. That means that answers the question right there. Well, what am I giving up, or what am I missing out on, or what am I losing? And I want you to know you're not giving up anything. You're going to have greater value, lower premiums, greater value. And write this one down too. Lower deductibles. Nobody wants to have crazy out of control deductibles. What's a deductible? That's the amount that you have to pay out of your pocket before insurance kicks in. And so that's your deductible. And how about, write this down, strong co-insurance, incredible co-insurance. What's co-insurance? That's where the plan pays 80% and you pay 20. Reasonable maximum out of pockets, which is your guarantee that you're not going to have to spend beyond a certain amount of money if crazy things hit the fan. So that's what you can get excited about. Oh, P.S. by the way, there are naturally occurring things in the insurance world right now. It's called open enrollment. That's usually about a 90-day window where you will be made to feel by insurance companies. And why will you be made to feel this way? Because that's what they do. Once a year, they come at you and say it's open enrollment, and that's code for pick a plan right now, hurry up. If you don't get on board, if you don't pick something today, you're going to miss out, and you're going to have to be left in the cold for the next year, and you're going to be left in La La Land and in trouble. And so people have a panic attack right now, and they're going, I've only got till January to figure this out. And they feel rushed, and anxiety creeps in, and then you have to make a fast decision, and it's not calculated, and you're talked into the wrong thing, and then you have to live with it. That's the fear around open enrollment. So guess what? We slow down right now and we just take a deep breath because why? Because you're 7K metals and you've got 7K health. And that's why you take a deep breath and you slow down and you're like, we don't play those games. We don't do any of that stuff. We don't have open enrollment. You get to pick and choose when you enroll, what week you enroll, what month you enroll. The only thing I'd say, please be cognizant of is that don't wait until you have a problem to enroll, because now you have a pre-existing condition and it's not the same anymore. So you've heard the saying, you can write this down as well: dig your well before you are thirsty. Dig your well before you are thirsty. If you go digging a well after you're parched and dehydrated and sick, you probably will not have time on your side to finish your well because you're not in good shape to do it. So when is the best time to get insurance? When you don't need it. When is the best time to ask a bank for a loan? When you don't need the money. When is the best time to get a new car? Before the one you have breaks down. That's always the best golden rule. So think ahead of the game. Do not wait until you are a victim of circumstance to get health insurance. So get it now, get it as soon as you can. And we've got 2 enrollment dates. You can have an effective plan any month of the year on the 1st or the 15th. What's the deadline to pick the 1st or the 15th? Well, if you want to be effective by the 1st, you have to have enrolled. Where do you enroll? Right on your site through 7kmetals.com. And if you want to learn about these plans and get all the facts and the details about them, go to 7khealth.com. So 7khealth.com. And if you want to ask some questions and get some expert advice, we have like 88 people standing by to take your phone call in our call center. Our calls, not a third-party call center. If you haven't done this yet, the phones will get answered. 7K Health, how may we help you? I mean, that's pretty professional. I think that's classy. Come on, let me see your hands. How many think that's pretty cool that you have your own company team of people that are answering phone calls? Now, listen, if you get a recording and don't go, oh, shoot, or call, 10 times in a row thinking that's going to help. Just be patient and leave a message that, every time someone hangs up the phone, they're checking the recordings and you will get a call back, and just be patient. If it takes 24 hours, it's okay. So you will have been gotten back to. So 2 enrollment dates. If you want to be effective by the 1st, you need to have enrolled by the 25th. Okay. If you want to be effective by the 15th, you have to have enrolled by the 9th. Okay. So there's your deadlines for each enrollment time period and when you can be effective. Then you're going to get this cool packet in the mail. It's going to have your insurance cards. Let me show you mine. So here's what they look like. I mean, I'm a minimalist. So like, that's my wallet. Okay. So it's just the size of my cards. So in here, I carry my insurance cards. And they're so cool because they fit right in there. So see that? It's just, I got my dental card, I've got my medical insurance card, and right here somewhere is my vision card. So those are all the cards. And when you go into a doctor, a hospital, a clinic, they're going to say, do you have insurance? And rather than going, no, I don't have anything, or, I have a share program. And by the way, that question comes up all the time. Well, I have MediShare. Is that okay? Is that okay? Well, it's something. Let me just answer this question about share programs because it is an FAQ. If you've got MediShare, Christian Share, Liberty Share, any share program at all, please understand that as good as those programs are, it's not insurance. And so what does that mean? It means that there are many states right now, many meaning more than a few. There's many states that do not take share programs, and the list of states not taking them is actually growing because share programs are not a promise to pay. It's not insurance. And because providers know that it isn't a promise to pay, it means that the provider is actually at risk. The client, the patient, may not pay. And if they don't pay, now the clinic is on the hook for those services and those bills. And that's why many doctors, hospitals, and physicians are saying, hey, if you got a share program, you go collect all that money. And then when you have the money, come on back to us. We're not bill collectors. Does that make sense? Did I answer that question okay for people about what is or isn't a share program? And so what are we? You can write these things down. We are a full turnkey, in-house, soup to nuts, A to Z insurance platform. We are the TPA. What's a TPA? It stands for a third-party administrator. That's the person who administers all the claims. Number two, we are an actuarial team. What's an actuary? Those are certified people that are qualified and legally and formally licensed to build value and put pricing to that in such a way that it's able to go out to the market and be sold. Number three, we're our own in-house legal team. So we have full-blown insurance legal specialists called Echo Hawk and Olson. So that's the legal in-house team. We're also our very own customer service department. A lot of insurance companies use third-party call centers, and we don't do that. There's danger in that. That's why we don't do it. Why would we want to rent out a call center when they're not passionate and able to be fully held accountable? And so we make sure that all that's controlled in-house. So we're able to train every customer service. And we've got front side customer service. That means pre-enrollment. And we have post-member customer service, which is after enrollment. So if you ever have questions about your plan or questions about a bill, we can help you answer those questions and even advocate for you. So you can write this down. We have an advocacy program where we review every bill so that as those bills, if you ever get a bill because of a claim you've made, you will know in advance that we've reviewed it for you to make sure that you haven't received an erroneous billing code. And it happens, I don't ever want to say intentionally, let's just say it happens so often it's disturbing. And that's not from us, it's from the hospitals, clinics, the doctors. They use erroneous billing codes, and you could be charged 4 times, 5 times, 10 times what the actual rate should be. So unless you have someone looking after you and monitoring your bills, it can be a challenge. And then, of course, there are no middlemen here. Please write this down. What's great about us? No middlemen. So all these things I'm telling you right now are things you can share with people of what's great about us. And when we say us, we're talking about 7K Health. So that's what's great about us. And you've got a long list of things to talk about right now. There is nothing like this on the market, period. So this is a one-of-a-kind thing. There's nothing like it. And you've got a team of people that are over your shoulder. Don't ever feel like you need to be an expert. You can literally say, that's a great question. Let's call together. And on the 7K Health website, you will see that there's a contact us button in the upper right-hand corner. You can call that number and you can ask any question you want to, and we'll take care of it, including helping you enroll people that are excited about this. I don't typically take phone calls that come in on 7K Health. However, I like playing Undercover Boss. You ever seen that TV program before, Undercover Boss? So I am that guy. I sometimes randomly, some of you may have heard me answer the phone calls before, and I get on there and I'll say it like everybody else, 7K Health, how may I help you? And we're talking along, and so sometimes people go, man, your voice really sounds familiar. And I attempt to just fly right under the radar, and I'm like, yeah, I know, I get that a lot. And they go, well, yeah, so your name is Scott? Yeah, my name is Scott. And what's your last name? And I said, well, I could tell you what my last name is, but it's going to cost you. And so when I reveal and mess around with people, they're like, I knew it. I saw you on a Zoom, or I heard you on a conference call. And, people love it when I get on there. I love to hear what people are saying. And I can tell you today, I personally took 4 calls from you all. I took 4 calls from you where people called in, or they 3-wayed in someone and was like, oh, wow, we're just so excited to get to talk to you. I have a person here that would love to answer some questions and enroll. Can you help us out? And I do it just like everybody else. I get on there, I have a blast with people, I make relationships. And I can tell you this program is sensational. I'd say have fun with it. Don't play it small with this topic. It's an incredible way. Listen, you are doing somebody the favor of their life to get them insurance with 7K Health. You're doing them the favor of it's a blessing. It's an honor to have this insurance program. It will boost their business. It's going to boost your business. It's going to give you the predictable, honest indicators about your auto savers that are coming through. And I believe that one of the best ways to measure your success is how many people you have on your team that have autosaver. So notice I paused, said how many people are on your team. That's a number. It's a different number. How many people are on your team with autosavers? And you want 2 autosavers, right? First, you want the coins as an autosaver. Second, you want them to have insurance as an autosaver. And that is an automatic clockwork every single month. It's very predictable. You want to see your points go through the roof? teach and train the insurance inside your team as much as you would anything else. And I would say in closing, the way to do that is just to ask people right after you enroll them. So you enroll them in to the program. They have the membership options, and you put them in the right membership that's best for them. And as soon as that's finished, this is what I'd recommend. As soon as that's finished, so that's done. And now you say, by the way, what type of health insurance do you have for you and your family? And listen to the answers that come in. Listen to the answers that come in. It is astounding how many people will tell you they don't have anything, or they have a share program or not much, or a benefit program that isn't insurance. And a lot of people will go, are you kidding me? I am not even able to stand what I have. It cost me so much. And they'll start griping and complaining and moaning, and they don't even like to talk about it. And then I love to mess with them and just say, how does it work? And they go, I don't know. I just make a heck of an expensive payment every month, and my premiums are insane. I don't know what it covers. I don't know how it works. And that's the truth, is most people don't know how their insurance works. So what does ours cover? Well, I'll let you go read it for yourself. The Mesa plans and the Sierra plans are the two options that I highly recommend that people consider. And it just comes down to a budget thing. Get what you can afford. And I'd say, the Mesa plan is a great idea for a lot of people. That's got $100,000 limit on the coverage per person per year. And by the way, I have had that plan. So, my family and I had the Mesa plan for a long time. The Sierra plan came out, and we made a switch over to the Sierra plan, and we do the Sierra 2500. I just thought I'd tell you that story because a lot of people ask me what I have. So now you know. And the Sierra plan allows you to have $1 million of coverage per person for the year. So it's a lot of coverage. Keep this in mind. The average claim per person aggregated throughout every living person in this country is about $7,500 a year. The average deductible is about $7,500. Now think about that. Whoa. If the deductible averages $7,500 and the average claim is $7,500, isn't the insurance industry like pocketing some serious coin? Because that means everybody's paying their own expenses, right? And you're parting with those premiums. Think about this. If you got a $1,500 a month premium or a $2,000, ours used to be $2,000 with a $10,000 deductible. I was paying $24,000 a year to pay all my own bills. And then you're going, if you do that for the life cycle of a child going through high school, you've paid $300,000 into the medical system. And yeah, I get it. You raise kids, you're going to have broken bones, and you're going to have stitches, and you're going to have the ER visit here and there. I get all that. That's like peanuts. And that's what I mean is those expenses are coming out of your pocket. There's no benefit in there. So you've paid all your own medical expenses by the time your kids graduate high school. And you put in about $300,000 into the system. And you know what? You never see that money again, ever. And then you're treated poorly when you say, hey, it's my turn. Look at all this money I put in here. What about me now? And they go, yeah, what about you? It's just a cattle call. This is a family-oriented, family-style topic. And here's our theory. We train everybody to communicate like this. If this is the way that you would recommend and advise your mother, then this is the advice we would give you. So if this is not good enough to give the same advice to your mother, then it's not going to pass the muster test. And if it is, it's exactly the way we should be treating each other and relating each other. I find that very, very refreshing, and I hope you do as well. So there's your roughly 30-minute overview on 7K Health. I would recommend that you have an honest conversation with yourself and say, do I have 7K Health? And if the answer is no, ask yourself, why not? What's stopping you? What's holding you back? Why are you not picking up the phone or going online right now and picking out the best plan for you? There is something that fits every single person's budget inside of 7K Health. Go find the right thing for you and walk it, talk it, breathe it, live it. Could you imagine like being part of 7K Metals, and other than your premium membership, you'd never bought another coin again? How could you recommend Autosaver? How could you tell people this is so incredible if you weren't walking it and talking it, living it and breathing it and exemplifying why this makes so much sense? And the same thing is going to happen with 7K Health. People are going to say, hey, what decision did you make? What plan did you pick? What did you decide for you and your family? And if you go, well, we didn't do anything with it, then they might go, yeah, well, okay, if you didn't do anything with it, then maybe we won't either. So you want to realize the best thing for you to do is to be an example. Be an example by using your company's programs everywhere you can and putting them right in the middle of you and your family. And then next, ask of your team to do the same thing. Ask everyone to duplicate that. You have coins on Autosaver, you have insurance on Autosaver. So that's my thoughts for the evening. Mark and Danielle, thank you so much for allowing me to be a guest on your incredible team call. I'm really honored that you called me up the other day, Mark, and invited me to be here. Anytime I can be around you and all the other great leaders of 7K, I just consider it to be one of the greatest environments that you could put yourself into. And it's a privilege to be here. Thanks for having me.
Well, I want to say thank you, Scott. And I'll just mention everybody, we were down in Cancun here this past year and I got a tooth that cracked. And, I just happened to see Scott. There's kind of like, I got to go see Scott. Why don't we think it's the only reason I came out to see you, Scott? But I had people back home setting it up so that I would be able to, possibly be able to get it, but it was so expensive. So I ran up and I asked him if he'd be able to help me out. And Scott dropped everything and went out of his way to get me set up and show me what to do and how to get a plan going. And I just want to say thanks again, because that's the heart of this gentleman. I mean, he's come on so many different Zooms and just shared his heart and his sincerity. And I got to tell you, just hearing his honesty and his integrity, I have to tell you, it's so refreshing and we're very grateful. And I do want to ask Scott, we've got about 15 minutes more. Would you be receptive to taking a few questions? Would that be okay?
I'd be happy to take questions. You bet.
All
Okay,
right.
and I basically locked everybody so no one could unmute. So I'm gonna let everybody here unmute.
I will
Everybody,
ask you to raise your hand so we can go.
yeah, and I will ask the first question if I can, Scott, because I think this might be a question a lot of people might be asking. When we first heard it, what is the reason? How can this plan be able to get the lower deductibles, the lower premiums, the largest nationwide network of doctors, and yet compete against all the other government sponsored plans? Why is this one different, and for credibility's sake, and how are we able to offer that?
Well, you asked a really deep and profound question that is absolutely perfect. And it's awesome. It's an awesome question. I'll only be brief to not bore you, and I'll put it kind of in story form. When you think about the insurance companies that's out there, let's talk about what they have in common. They're public, yes or no? Okay, so if they're public companies, it means that they have what? Shareholders, stockholders. What do they want? Dividends. And so if you're an owner of a piece of that pie, just as the typical investor, the typical person out on the stock market, you want your stocks to go up, you want your portfolio to increase in value. How does that happen? Well, it means that you have to get more people that are already sick and tired of being sick and tired of spending more money than they should be spending to spend even more money. And then you got to convince people that aren't in that boat to get in that boat to where they get to be sick and tired of being sick and tired of spending too much money. So that's how that can happen. Well, we didn't want to play that game. So guess what we are not? We're Sesame Street's little jingle. One of these things is not like the other. Which one is it? Can you tell? And we stick out like a sore thumb. First of all, we're not public. We're private. And it means that we're not, here's the key, we're not beholden. We're not a slave. We're not dictated to. We don't owe anybody anything. And so that also allows us to remain outside of the guise of being regulated by the federal government or the state government. And so when you're not regulated by the state or the federal government, it means that we take matters into our own hands and we create our value. We create the rates and we don't overcharge. We're not here to impress people with how fancy our cars are or how fancy our buildings are and look what your overinflated premiums have been paid for. And we're not here to give CEOs $1 million a year salaries. That's not why we're here. We're here for the people. We're here by the people. And shoot, if I was running for president of the United States, I'd say, I am your public servant. I work for you. You don't bow down to me. I work for you. What do you need me to do on your behalf? What job can I get done for you? How can I make you sleep better at night? What's important to you? And we listen and we take those things to heart. And so when people say, this is what we want in insurance, that's what we give them, is what they want in insurance. So we also did the unthinkable. We made it a charity. We teamed up with the Native American population, and we went and partnered with the different tribes on sovereign ground, and we domiciled on sovereign ground, and we said, how can we serve you? And they said, we don't want to be lost in cancel culture. We don't want the history to be rewritten about what happened with Native Americans and the Native American cultures. And we said, brilliant. What else do you want? And they said, we want better roads. We want better hospitals. We want modern technologies so we can perform, modern day medical practices as well. We want to be able to see, our young people not fall victim to drug and alcohol abuse and early teen pregnancies. And so we're like, sweet, that sounds like a pretty brilliant plan to us. So we said, done. So here's the pay it forward blessing on the blessing deal. You get it that if you have one of these plans, you are blessed. I mean, like, come on. Wow. And then you also understand now that there's something called NARA, N-A-R-A, the Native American Restoration Association. Where can you find out about that? Everything that I'm telling you, I haven't told you anything that is not already in the 7K Health website. So all this stuff about NARA, it's in there. So go read about it for yourself. I'm just hitting the surface. Go read about it yourself. And through your back office at 7K, go read about this stuff. Open up the brochures. Go to the website. It's right on the front page. All this cool factor stuff, it's on the front homepage of your own website at 7khealth.com. So yeah, we're motivated. We give a little, so the blessing paid forward is while you're going, wow, my premiums are lower. This is my fortunate day and everything just got better for me. While that happened to you, a little piece of every premium that you're making goes straight to the Native American Restoration Association. And whew.
Nie. Nie. Popatrzyna się popłakał.
We're feeding kids. We're healing families. We're restoring classrooms. We're doing what humans should be doing for other humans. We're humanizing each other. That's what we're doing. So when you tell that story in your meetings and your one-on-ones and your coffee shop sit-downs and your home gatherings and your hotel meetings and everywhere you're gathering with people, when you tell this story, do you understand, friends, that people make their biggest decisions on emotions, not on facts? Mark, did
Amazing.
that answer that question, Danielle?
Yeah, that was fantastic. I appreciate that, Scott.
Absolutely
Thank you
amazing.
for speaking from your heart as well. And let's see, is that Essie up there or Ceci? Can't see. I see your earth hearts, but go. We have 10 minutes, everybody.
Let's be super conscious. Quick questions. We got 11 minutes before we have to end this, okay?
Yeah, this is Ceci. First, thank you, Mark and Danielle, for bringing Scott to us tonight. Scott, you are so passionate. You're so inspiring. Thank you. And I know I'm speaking for everybody here. My question is, how could any part of 7K Health address the needs of folks on Medicare?
So great. Thank you for your kind words. I appreciate what you said. And so we're talking about an age group of 65 and older. The best place for anyone to find themselves is having been fortunate enough to live to 65 years or older. Okay, so anyone who's not 65 years old right now wants to be someday. We want to be just like you. You're the current living, breathing hero of the planet, is that you made it to 65 and it's still clicking for you. So don't ever underestimate the value of being 65 or older. That is a privilege, and I'm 51 and I don't want to be 65 tomorrow. I do want to be 65. So when that happens for me, and has happened for some of you, jump up and down and find yourself doing jumping jacks. And if you can pull off a cartwheel, that's even cooler. And then say, hip, hip, hooray, I'm on Medicare. And the reason you want to do that is because it is the best health insurance plan in this country, and it is the most affordable health insurance you can find yourself having. So I'd say, don't worry about it. There's no conversation. We transition people from insurance over to Medicare at the time you become 65. However, you can add in the supplemental plans if you'd like, and you can also add in the pet insurance. So the pet program that we have available right now, you can add that in there. And I actually let a little, I'm going to put myself in timeout. So we're going to end up bundling. Okay, don't call us tomorrow about this. I just put myself in timeout, and we're going to bundle vision and dental together as a standalone, separate from insurance, and we're going to bundle critical illness and accident together separately. Those are soon to be things that are standalone that you can get all by themselves, as long as they're bundled in those two categories outside of insurance, if you want to make those add-ons. Sorry, I let something out of the bag. It's coming soon, okay? It's coming soon. Please don't call us tomorrow asking about that. That's why I'm pontificating on this at the moment. What you can do today, at any age, because it's not age-based, is you can have the pet program. You know what 65-year-olds and older are notorious for having? Not necessarily you. It's just common that people in that age bracket and older love to have pets. They like their dogs, they like their cats, their whole feel-good animals. Those are their friends, and that's what they like to have. So that's available for anybody at any time. Did that answer your question?
Awesome. Thank you.
Cool.
Yes,
Don't forget
and
to do your, and by the way, I just see Earth Hearts. What's your actual name?
Ceci.
Ceci, I expect a YouTube video of you doing a cartwheel
Okay,
because you're 60. I want to see it, and please, find a way to get that to me through Mark and Danielle. I want to see you do a cartwheel and then say, hip, hip, hooray, I'm on Medicare.
thank you.
Okay.
all right, you guys, we have 7 minutes. Seth, go for it.
I love this. This is such an empowering message. So I'll try to be quick. 2 things here. What are the nuts and bolts of this entire thing, and how does it work best? Like, if I want to present this to somebody, because I've got nothing but positive reviews about this medical thing. I mean, people love it. So to what degree would I be leading with something like this? Because the world is really unhealthy and kind of way off balance. So what would be the nuts and bolts of this? Like, what does it look like? How much is it going to cost somebody for every week or month? Or that's the kind of stuff I want to know. And if I can.
I will say this, Seth, you can go on the brochures and you can look up all the rates on 7khealth.com. So as far as the rates, you can get them there. But
Mhm.
Scott, if you want to just kind of tackle that in a couple of minutes, I'll let you kind of jump in. I didn't mean to interject, but I want to let everybody know that's where you can find that.
Oh, no, that's awesome. Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah,
Yeah, no,
thanks for
I'll get out of the way. I want other
No,
people.
Seth, you're totally fine. It's a great question. Mark is correct. Everything is beautifully laid out on that website. It's very, very thorough. It's really not missing anything for you to go see all that for yourself. I
Well,
would
then,
say
can I ask you this? How does this benefit Native Americans? Because this is going to be really important for me to understand, and for others, because they need our love, they need our support.
Well, we're taking care of that part. So we have made this available. I mean, they're our partners, right? So they're benefiting greatly from everything that's going on here, which is absolutely beautiful. I would just say this, the stories are more powerful than anything. And I get into stories real quickly because I will have no qualms. I'll just say, hey, I'm just curious. You can be at the barbecue next door, over at the potluck after church, or hanging out at the school social, sitting in the bleachers, watching your kid play their football or their baseball or their basketball game or volleyball. And people are all the time asking each other questions, and we're nosy with each other. What do you do? Tell me about your kids. How long you been married? And what do you think about politics? I mean, we ask everybody everything nowadays. So why wouldn't you just ask the question that says, hey, I'm just curious as a parent or as a friend or a dad or a hardworking person in the workforce, what are you currently doing for health insurance for you and your family? And it's such a natural question to ask. And now they're going to tell you a story. And note that what I said is exactly right on. They're going to tell you a story and they will identify themselves as to which bucket they're in. I said there's 3 buckets at the beginning. Everybody falls into one of those. They'll tell you which bucket there is, and you don't care which one they tell you, because all 3 of them are not as great as what the outcome is when people use 7K Health. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah. So have fun with that. And that's how you open those conversations.
Regarding savings, sorry guys, yeah, I don't want to get in the way.
No, we just have
Yeah.
questions. We have 3 minutes, so I apologize, Seth.
Yeah.
And we,
Just
I'll
because
back it out.
we
Let's
have
let
a-
others come through, yeah.
that we have to hop on.
didn't
but
mean
go
to be rude.
Yeah, I wish we had more time. Victor, do you want to go ahead and unmute? You're next in line.
Thank you. I think it's a great plan. As you know, Mark, I am not trying to make the ball roll, but anyway, I think it's a very interesting subject by helping people that way. But I have a question. How is this, or how can I? Is a higher percentage to help people with a naturopathic, or how that works with naturopathic medicine?
Well,
I
keep
don't
in
know.
mind,
I don't know how to formulate the question because I don't really know what is exactly the plan covers. So
I know no worries, Victor. I'm picking up what you're putting down. So the topic with a PPO network, which is what we have as a PPO network. So here's what's great about us is we have the largest PPO network in America, longest list of doctors, hospitals, clinics, and providers. That's a big, huge selling point. People don't want the second largest list. They want the biggest list to choose from. So that's what we mean by you having the freedom to pick and choose your doctors. Now, naturopathics do not have to be on insurance, and many of them choose out, Victor, quite frankly. So do we have some on there? Yes, we do. Many naturopathic doctors, many chiropractors, acupuncturists, massage therapists, those are some categories, to name a few. They choose to be a cash only system, and that's oftentimes the case. So nonetheless, we do have plenty of people that are part of this large PPO network, and you're welcome to pick and choose from them should you want to. I had someone ask me not long ago, well, can you give me a list of chiropractors in the greater Los Angeles area? And I went into the search system and I found hundreds of chiropractors in greater Los Angeles system. So I mean, there's plenty there. Just know that's how the system works, Victor. Is that okay for you?
yeah, are you also considering to probably, for example, we have a naturopathic doctor. He's a medical doctor, but he decided to go into the natural. He's a really good doctor. Are you open to add more people in your network, or how that
All day
would work?
long.
Yeah,
All day
so-
long. Inside the website, I'm gonna bring this short because we have 1 minute. So
Yeah, we pay, for example, we're paying $2,500 for a year to have all the consultation we wanted with that doctor. So if we wanted to ask him to join the network, do you have a letter that we can send him, or how does work?
yeah, if you get permission, there's a link inside the website that I already gave you, 7khealth.com, that will allow you to add a provider, suggest a new provider, and we'll do the work for you.
Okay, great. Thank you.
You
All
got
right,
it.
everybody. I apologize to Mark and to Heidi. We have to wrap this up. We have another Zoom that's coming up right now. And I want to say, Scott, thank you again so much for taking your time to join us. We'd love to have you back on again another time. Obviously be able to have more questions get answered. We appreciate everybody taking the time to jump on this. We certainly did not mean to be rude to anybody by cutting off your question. We're
No.
trying to get everybody in.
You
So
guys are great.
thank you, everybody, tonight for joining us. We appreciate you all. And as you're signing off, state your name, where you're calling in from. Thank you again, Scott. You're an
Amazing,
awesome-
Scott.
Appreciate it.
Thank you. Thank
My
you.
pleasure, everybody. Take care. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Come on in,
Thank
James,
you.
I'm done.